This side up. Here. Yep. Yeah, just so that I can clean all the edges and stuff and they don't get finger grease on them, because I got the gloves for when I actually start putting it back together.
Awesome. I'm impressed.
I impress the crap out of myself. My daughter's principal, I tell him my stories. Like, I used to have a fish tank in the basement of the House of Death. Now, why would I call it the House of Death? Because there's dead people everywhere. It was a funeral home.
Oh, there you go.
And the owner was a little bit shady. Okay, a lot shady. I may have been the only person who ever benefited from knowing him.
Do you know which was the top and which was the bottom, or does it matter?
This is the top.
Yeah.
This was the bottom.
Yeah.
You can tell by the scratches.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
right.
not scratches. That's
What the marks?
yeah, that's rubber. That's silicone. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, you can feel it. It's just
But yeah, this is where I took the silicone off, so I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it back the way it was.
Yeah, okay.
Like, basically, he was having like 20 funerals a week.
Oh, that's good.
He catered to the East Asian market,
Oh, wow.
and he allowed burning of incense. A lot of Canadian funeral homes will not allow that because the other customers don't like the smell. One floor was for shoes.
So if you have two funerals at the same time, they don't like that.
He'd sometimes have 3 or 4 at the same time.
Yeah, you can.
It was the old Royal Canadian Legion in Malton. And he used to own a moving and storage company. Now, you know all those rules that they have to protect the consumer from moving and storage companies? They were mostly invented to save people from wreck.
Save them from what?
To save people from wreck.
From
A bit of a
wreck.
crook.
Oh.
Okay, a lot of a crook. He was charming though, man. He did a lot of social media at first. I came back to bite him in the butt because the newspaper needed pictures for their stories about his crooked behavior. They had lots. Hortensia used to babysit their... Well, he married his mistress. He says, Carl, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble. Gotta do something.
Made an honest woman out of his mistress?
Well, he was, he had 2 kids with his first common law wife. And then he hired a girl off of a job, one of those temporary forces.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later, he bought out her contract. Because you have to pay if you hire that person.
Mm-hmm.
He bought it out. Now, I always thought it was his girlfriend.
2 weeks.
He liked her. He
That's not
really
a long-
liked her.
That's not a long time.
She's just as crooked as he is. Perfect match. So, when you have a funeral home, in order to perform a funeral, you have to have a licensed funeral director.
Mm-hmm.
So, he paid for her to go to Humber College.
Oh, there you go. Now she's...
Take the funeral test. But you have to embalm 50 bodies to get your license. They were able to prove that like 8 or 10 of them she didn't do. She may not have did any of them.
Right.
Somebody else did them. She took the credit. So they pulled her license. So he had to hire different funeral directors. And now the funeral business is very tight, very closed. If you are a member of a family of a funeral board, like a funeral home, you get preferential to join because it's a family business. So he had to hire different funeral directors. Now he hired a whole bunch. Hortensia was working there cleaning. And one day she phones me, she says, Poppy, I found this Coke bottle, but it smells like whiskey. I says, okay. She says, Poppy, what should I do? I says, dump it out, put some Coke in it, shake it so that it's flat, and just leave it. Because somebody's drinking on the job.
Mm-hmm.
And the confusion in the guy when he's drinking whiskey, but it's not whiskey.
Right.
And then tell Rick. So that guy got fired. And then came Mike. Mike was a funeral director at the end. Did not seem to care about his job in the slightest. He was moody, surly, talked back, didn't show Rick any respect whatsoever. He was working for the funeral board.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Working undercover.
Oh, shit.
Because in the last year of operation, Rick bought 285 bottles of embalming fluid to embalm 500 people.
Is that enough?
It's average of 2 bottles per person.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is they put towels under grandma to, as they're rotting, they're leaking. Grandma's just crying. So they closed them down. But the thing about the funeral board is they have no power once you're no longer a funeral. So he left the building with over $6 million in debt. Because he took cash payments only. And he headed off to Florida. He bought a hotel like 5 blocks from the beach and stayed off social media. Well, Sham tells me he died.
Oh.
But the guy in the coffin wasn't Rick. Now, if anybody could fake their own death, Rick
It's a
can.
funeral parlor, yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Like,
go.
I almost died there one day, and I thought, shit, he's just going to shove me under a body.
In that bag, Tony, get the caulking, please.
You know how sometimes you have a pump and it starts leaking voltage into the water, so you put a grounding wire and you tie it up to the ceiling where the steel beams are holding the cars up? Well, if you have one hand in the water and you pick the wire out of the water with the other one, you can't move.
Right.
You're stuck
You're
there.
the ground.
Electricity.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh man, I'm gonna die. Rick's not gonna tell anybody, and he's just gonna shove me underneath.
Before you open that up,
Yeah.
the reviews I ran out, they said like it's like really thick. It's